Hey, it's the Chief Bonnie with Board Games and RPGs. We're back with Season 2 of my Twilight 2000, which I've called Orphans. They're trying to skirt the town of Strafelno. By the way, like and subscribe helps the channel, gets it to everybody else. They ran into a little 8-year-old girl, down on her luck, Isabella. Casimir gave her some food, gave her real general directions to try to get to Niesno. Pretty hard from as far away as she is, and told her to stay off the road. She shared information that there is basically open conflict in Strafelno, and the groups decided to skirt it. There was a flat tire on the Toyota. They had to fix it, pull security. The group will be looking out for any Toyotas they can find or any kind of spare tires they could use. As we open up, there is a watch. They're taking turns holding watch and using the Mythic Fate chart. Are there any kinds of issues overnight as this watch is happening? 50-50. We're pretty close to a big city or a bigger city. 93, that's a hard no. So 91 or higher, not only is there not an issue with the night guard, something maybe even positive. Well, the Russians were grilling up bear, a fatty bear. It was only slightly irradiated, but I would imagine, so not only was there not a problem, but it's like it's even better than that. Maybe they found a place that's a little bit more secure even. Okay, I like that. So depending on the area they found, it's easily defensible, we could call it, where they made camp. And I think there is an idea of, hey, this is a pretty good place for us to hold up and secure. Maybe we can send out a recon group to see if we could recover a spare. I think Major McGiffin, the Spetsnaz, are like, we'll run into a jam if we don't have this Toyota kind of reconning ahead of us. I like this. Okay, that's going to slow things down a little bit more, but they're in such a defensible position that I think we can kind of freeze that. That'll be fine. But who's going to be our recon group? Well, it's the Spetsnaz with the Camo guys. Would they want to do a blended team? I don't think Vladislav would want to blend in Sanchez or Krieg or McGiffin with him. I think he says, let me grab Afanya and Luca and just scout a little closer to the city. See if we can pick up an area with some parked cars, or if we get really lucky, some Toyotas, but we can probably find a spare that's going to fit. Basically a tire that would fit, and they're going to bring it back. They're going to bring back a tire. Okay? Heck, though, they may try to bring back 2. It's always good to have spares. I think they grab a jack. They grab tire irons so that they could work the lug nuts off in hopes that they'll find something. Now, Afanya's their sniper scout. I think he takes point. Luca's more heavy weapons guy, so he's got a little bit of a heavier light machine gun, and they're going to recon forward. Vladislav is 10 and 10, but with Luca or Afanya, okay, it's A and B, so one 10-sided, one 12-sided die. All right. So the group, they know where the city lies. They're trying to skirt the outskirts. They're going to push in a little closer to the city. They're just moving in a 3-man team, scouting ahead, seeing, how successful is this recon going to be. Okay, an 8 and a 2, so we have 1 success. So that tells me that they have successfully navigated the area. You got Afanya on point, great sniper. He's got his, I'm trying to remember, he had like a little subgun, and then he's got his sniper rifle on his back. But he's moving through and just kind of finding great positions to scout even further ahead, using terrain to his advantage. And of course, as they get closer to the outskirts of town, I think he's spotting some potential vehicles, but let's ask. So we've got a good recon. They're not in contact. They're able to sneak in. They get the advantage first. Let's just go 50-50. Is he seeing a vehicle or a parking lot or something that might offer up this chance? They just want to get one or two wheels and get back. They're not looking to do anything else. 50-50. Ooh, one. Yeah. A Toyota. Well, this tells me that it's a Toyota in working condition that they spot. So the question is, why take one or two wheels when you can take the whole vehicle? Who knows what you could get out of it? Okay, I like that. We had a successful recon. So my other question is the vehicle looks like it's in great condition. This is not some wrecked car off on the side of the road. 50-50. Are there people around it? 73. That is a no. So 50 or under would have been a yes. Okay. So they've got an angle on that. Now, it's always going to be hard to bring the whole vehicle back because you're moving on foot. You're going to be a little bit more of a target if you do decide to bring the whole vehicle back. Well, we'll decide that when we get down a little bit further. Afanya breaks out his sniper rifle. He's got a great observation position. He can stand off and cover Luka and Vladislav as they move down to the actual vehicle. They will make the decision. Simply jack it up and take the wheel, maybe take two, or are there keys? Can we hotwire it? Can we drive this out of here? We may even just strip it down a mile away, but let's get out of this zone. All right, so they have Overwatch with Afanya. They're going to move down. I think we're going to use a second recon, and now we're using Vladislav's, which is just two 10-sided die. He's reconning down. They do have the Overwatch. Remember, nobody's around, but it doesn't mean they might not see signs of somebody. So this isn't, if we don't get something good on the recon, it doesn't necessarily mean something bad. We have a 6 and a 1. We are not pushing it, so we don't need to worry about the stress. We have the one success. That tells me Luka and Vladislav, they creep in. Very nice. Matter of fact, I think Afanya is watching and just enjoying the skill level that these two guys are doing as they move forward. Vladislav tells Luka, hey, hold back, probably at about the 100-yard mark. Let me move all the way up on this vehicle and get the lay of the land so you can even cover with heavy machine gun, or probably got a light machine gun if necessary. Got it. Vladislav makes the last 100 yards, gets up on the vehicle, and is checking it out. Tires look good. Are there keys inside the vehicle? This would be great. At the very least, he could drive it back to the 100 yards where Luka's at. Are there keys in the vehicle? 50-50. 37. He gets in the vehicle, looks underneath, I think pops the visor down, keys drop. Keys drop. The keys are there. Now, it still tells me, geez, this vehicle looks like it's in good shape. I would imagine you're seeing it at a house. There could be an owner around still somewhere. I think he puts the keys in, turns it to the auxiliary, and there is power. All the more that there's going to be danger. To me, I mean, the odds that it's a working vehicle in good shape and nobody's around, that's pretty rare. How much gas is in this vehicle? We're going to just do 10-sided die, and the tank is either going to be on its lowest 10%, 20%. All right, so it is down on that last quarter tank. I think Vladislav turns it. Does it start? Does the vehicle start right up? Gosh, with the condition and the keys, I'm going to give it 75%. I mean, there could be something wrong with it, but does it turn over? He's got auxiliary, but maybe the battery's almost dead. Ha! 9. Yeah, that's a hard yes. It turns over smooth, and Vladislav wastes no time. He puts it in reverse, and he rolls out of whatever location it is for a good 30 yards, just kind of scanning, and he doesn't, well, does he see anybody coming running out after him? 50-50. 5. Oh, yeah. That, too, is not yes, but hell yes. All right. He's in reverse. He's 30 yards back. I mean, he traversed this area. I'm imagining there was like a field or maybe even some road that he had to cross. But he doesn't waste time trying to turn around. He's in reverse. And I would imagine he's got his, AK off on the side here. And he's reversing heavily just to get some distance. And some type of, whoever's living in the home, we don't know who it is, they, more than one, how many? 9. 9 dudes come flooding out of that house. This is their Toyota. And someone has the audacity, the balls to steal it? They come out armed. So he's at 30 yards. That's super damn close for people that are going to be looking to shoot at you. So the first thing is, as the people boil out of the house, I guarantee Afanya is already looking to put a round on somebody. It would be an easy shot. And I guarantee Luca's getting ready to rip off a bunch of rounds, 100 rounds from a light machine gun. There's just no doubt of this. It's going to be a sniper taking somebody down, and the machine gun fire is going to be suppressive. I'm going to go with a roll. I think it's a near sure thing. But, could the Toyota be in the way? Could there be so many? So let's first go with, well, both of these. Are they going to immediately engage this 9 people running out? Not a near sure thing, 90%. 26, yes. So I'm not even rolling on some of this. You've got 9 people boiling out with weapons. You've got Vladislav in heavy reverse trying to get distance, just putting it in reverse and hauling. It's nice to have that engine in front. I think he's sitting low in case they start ripping rounds at him. You hear the crack of a high-powered rifle and what looks like one of the leaders. That's who Afanya would be looking for. Or at least somebody that's maybe shouldering up even. He's going to take what looks like the biggest threat. Headshot down. Positioned, ready to go. Boom. They're down to 8. Luca is going to open up. Now again, he's looking to put rounds on target, but what a light machine gun will do is make everybody change their mind and look for cover, instead of racing after this Toyota that's being stolen. So might he hit some of them? Totally. Again, I'm not going to roll. I'm almost leaning more towards the suppression, but could he hit? I'm going to -1 off of this because there's a chance if he rolls a 1, maybe he hits nobody. 3. Yeah, I think 2 of them go down. We're now down to 6. But little did they expect their cars being stolen, their Toyota. The snipers dropped probably one of the more quick to act or a leader or whatever down, and then up rips a bunch of light machine gun fire, just ripping into the group and dropping 2 more, and everybody heads to cover. They get down. Vladislav uses that point. He sees all that. He immediately cranks into what's called a J-turn. So he punches the gas a little bit and cuts it to the right, and it brings that truck around skirting around and towards the front. He then brakes, drops it into drive out of reverse, and then hammers it. And now he's headed away from the threat. Afanya would be looking for another target. Again, I'm going to roll 90%. Pretty sure thing he's going to find one of these guys seeking cover. His is more of a precise shot. I'm not going to roll on his shots. This is a group. I want to just see 90%. Does he get a shot? Ooh, 87. A little closer, but yeah, boom. He drops another one. What's that got us down to? 5? Luca at this point is just putting rounds onto that building, into that area, skipping them in whatever the driveway was, whatever the doors are. He's just constantly, just slow, just dropping rounds. No full squeeze. It's just, 6-round bursts. Boom, into the door. Boom, into the driveway. Boom, keeping the heads down. Keeping them down, keeping them pinned, as Vladislav drives straight to his, well, he's probably off a little bit, giving him that angle of fire, driving to him. I don't think he hits anybody else. Let's just go 50-50. 59, no, but he's maintaining suppressive fire. I like this. 100 yards, boom. Here comes Vladislav, skids in. Not a shot's been fired at him yet. Here's the point, though, where now Luca jumps into the back of the Toyota. I think he kind of lays that light machine gun down on the tailgate, kind of clamping it in, and again is just dropping some rounds in the general attitude of that house. I want to check. All this is going on. I think it's very unlikely, but we'll go 25% chance. Does somebody at least get some rounds ripped off at the Toyota? 25% chance. 24. Ooh. I think out of the window, you just get this rip of fire. A burst of fire comes towards the Toyota. Now we're 100 yards away. Still well within range. But I think these are hitting. The Toyota at least is going to take some hits. Now, how would we figure this out? Because again, you could hit the people on board. You could hit the tires that they're so trying to use to get away. And it could just be nothing. Let's just ask yes, no question. I think at 100 yards, rounds are ripped off kind of chaotically. The idea that Luca or Vladislav is hit, I think, is pretty low. So the rounds are ripped off in the general direction of the vehicle. So let's start with what the worst case scenario is. No way, 15% chance, however, under no way, chaos factor of 5, one of those two is hit. Woo, 4. That is not a hell yes. That would have been a 3 or less, but one of them is hit. So just some rounds sent their way. I even think you hear that high-powered sniper rifle and the rounds stop, but somebody's hit. I think even is going to be Vladislav, and Luca will be odd. Odd, 3. Luca in the back, who's ripping some rounds back, is hit. Wow. So we're going to roll the wound die. Most of these are chest shots, but you have arms, legs, and the potential headshot. Now, it doesn't mean it's an automatic kill. Could clip his ear or something. Who knows? We will see. What do we get? Ooh, arms. Okay. So the arms are shown on this die. So as Vladislav or Luca's just ripping these LMG rounds, light machine gun rounds back, the spray of fire comes their way. You hear the sniper shot, boom, down goes whoever was spraying out of that window. But how badly hit? Because you could have just a graze, it's a flesh wound, or you could have something that hits bone. So I'm going to roll for degree of damage here. The lower the number, the less the damage. If we're getting up into 100, we've got a fracture and a bleed going on. So low is what Luca wants. 8, huh? Okay. He takes just a meat round. So You know, it comes in, gets a little bit of his muscle, I think, up on the shoulder, bleeds a little bit, but we're not into bone. We're not into anything that needs a tourniquet, but he took a hit. Wow. All right. So Luca takes a hit. All right. Interesting. They get around that 100 yards. I'm imagining there's trees that are now in the way. There's the angle of the ground. They've made enough distance that they're out of firing range. Clearly, they know where they've got Afanya. The direction is driven towards him. They roll in, grab Afanya, and as he comes up to the vehicle, I think Vladislav says, "Hey, jump in the back and just check out Luca. He got nicked, or he got hit." And so, as they're working their way away, still in the back of the truck, some basic first aid is just applied to Luca, and Luca's not even worried about it. He's like, "It's a scratch." It's just a scratch. He's got a simple hole in, hole out, a little bit more than just a graze, which would like cut him. But he's like, "This is nothing." All right. So the next question is, are they wanting to get the entire vehicle back? I think the answer there is a simple yes. The big kicker was the original steal. At this point, why wouldn't you drive it all the way back to your own camp? Yeah, I don't think that's tough at all. I mean, they're not going to take the same way they walk through, but they're going to know, hey, at the very least, all the vehicles were able to get to that secure spot where they got to. Even if they've got to backtrack a little bit longer way, they'll do so. I guess the only question is, they're not moving as stealthily when they're in a vehicle. 50-50, do they run into anything else that might cause me to I'll draw an encounter card. 50 or less, if there's a yes, I'll draw an encounter card. Ooh, 13. So we're going to draw an encounter card. I'm imagining the bandage, that's pretty quick. There's reloads, there's preps. I think Vladislav's driving, and Afanya and Luca stay in the bed of the Toyota pickup, ready to engage, fully loaded, ready to go, depending on whatever the draw is going to be. They are on the road. So let's do first question. Are they still on the road, or have they gone off-road? Because I think they would stay on the road for a little bit. Let's just do odd, even again. Odd, they're now off-road. Even, 0. They're still on the road, so this is pretty early. They haven't gotten off-road yet. The key is these cards will oftentimes work for off-road or on-road. So this is on-road. This is a 7 of diamonds. It does cover road, covers off-road as well, and camping and everything. This is desperate times. A group of refugees, starving and hypothermic, and desperate. They plead with the PCs for food and protection. Several suffer from dysentery, and the PCs risk being infected. No, they don't. These guys don't stop at all. So as they're driving on the road, they're coming up on like a line of just defeated people who are just walking, trudging along the road. I think a couple of them try to like flag down the vehicle. Does anybody step in the way to try to make the Toyota stop? I think that would be unlikely, but 25 or less, 55. Ooh, doubles at our chaos factor, random event. Hopefully I didn't miss any of those. I don't think I did. Nobody's stopping. This is a sad sack of people leaving Strayfelno. These guys, although there's some people trying to wave them down, they're not interested at all. They're getting back to the point where they're going to leave the road and get back to their group. But we do have a random event from this. So we roll under the focus table. 66. 66 is a PC negative. Okay, so this is a negative for us. Doesn't mean it has to be around these people, but some kind of negative. 79 is intolerance. All right, and 55, suffering. Well, that's what they're seeing. And they're intolerant. Okay, but this is some kind of PC negative. 34. 34 is lie. All right. And 12. Opposition. All right. Intolerance, suffering, lie, opposition. It's got to be with this group. They're not going to stop for them. I think there's like begging and pleading for them to pull over and maybe even let people get in the truck and drive out of there. They're not having any of it. As much as, I mean, I would think normally this would probably cause Casimir some stress. Maybe even McGiffin. Krieg, no. And I don't think these guys, it distresses them at all. As much as it's a PC negative, I'm going to put that if they end up having any contact with a random group of citizens, maybe via an encounter card, that it will break negative for them, because maybe it's one of these folks. So let me just, any citizen contacts in this area are likely to be negative. It's going to be like one of these folks that they drove by is going to recognize them. Hey, you're the one that drove by us when you're in a vehicle. Yeah, that's it. But other than that, as they move past, they get far enough down, they find or they know their area that they're going to get off road. They're not just going to drive into their camp. You're likely to get friendly fire doing that. I think they're going to get close. I think you're talking half a mile away. It's all land nav stuff, but I think Vladislav says, hey, let me just stay here with Luca. We'll kind of ford up on this Toyota. Move to our camp on foot, meaning stealthily make your way in. Let them know we've got the vehicle, and once you're there, radio. Oh, well, they've got radios. Are they able to radio in? You might have some problems with terrain. We'll just go, I think it's likely, though, 75% they'd be able to radio, hey, we got a full Toyota, we're coming in. 75 or less. 2, yeah, they've got radio contacts, so we don't have to do this park the vehicle, move in safe. That's smart, but if they've got radios and they're working, that's a strong yes. I think there's like, they're Russian guys, they're Commo guys are like, man, I think there's like an oppressed joy. And this is why these guys, even though they know they're kind of the bait for the trap or their own the living tripwire, here comes Vladislav with a whole nother Toyota. Good. All right. So they say, yeah, we're coming in. They get in there. They can see that Luca took a little bit of a hit. I think they probably inspect that, clean it, change the bandage again. It's probably due to put another bandage on it. Some antiseptic, just make sure it's cleaned and rebandaged. And then they got to inspect the vehicle. Now, again, I would imagine they took one of the best, meaning originally the Toyota that the Commo guys are in is probably a really solid vehicle. But we know this one looked good from the road, 20% fuel. At the very least, we know we got our spare tire. If not more than a couple, we may take all the tires and just leave this thing. I don't think we need a whole nother car. But could this Toyota be better than the Toyota we're in? I doubt it, but you never know. Let's go with no way, 15%. I don't know why it even matters, 92. No, I mean, it's a fine Toyota. It's decent. We're going to siphon out the gas that's in it. And anything of use that's inside this Toyota. We're bringing this episode to a close. This is interesting. Clearly, not just one tire. So we've got our spare back on. We just junked that one with the bent rim. But now we've got 3 spares. I like it. There's 3 spare tires now. We've taken the whole tire off. 3 spare tires for the Toyota. And they're just packed into the back. What else might be in there? I mean, we got the fuel, but we brought some extra fuel anyway. But We can take that 20% of fuel that's in there. Let's just ask some general questions. 50-50. Is there like city map in the glove box? 35. Yes. So we got a city map for Strayfelno. All right. We're trying to skirt the town, but whatever. Was there anything in the bed? I mean, we know Luca was able to get in there, so probably not anything major, but anything in the bed of the truck? 4. That's a hell yeah. Okay. So not too big, but what would be? There's something not only in the truck, but probably good. It's a strong yes. Is it food? 50-50. 23. Food. Is it ammo? 9. Yes. Okay. There are some MRE boxes and some couple ammo crates. A little surprising, but I think with 9 people boiling out of that house, what we probably had was some kind of militia. Maybe they're an outskirts militia group that uses this vehicle to patrol around in. I could see that. I think that's telling me they're probably, obviously they were very well armed. One of them even shot very good. And I don't think they anticipated anybody even messing with them at this house. Quite the rep. Although Luca and his group, Vladislav and them killed half of them. So, and that makes sense. I mean, having even been in the military, you're not unloading and reloading and loading and unloading. And if they were secure, maybe even a little cocky, they would have left some ammo and some food crates in the bed of the truck because you're not always pulling it in and out. They were cocky enough they thought no one's going to mess with us. I like it. All right. So we picked up a little extra ammo. I'm sure it's 7.62. And some rations. Great. And it's just put into our Toyota along with these spare tires, some of the bear meat, the bear hide that now decorates and is somehow tied to the hood of our Toyota. Bizarre. But that is the scene and the setting. All right, we'll step out. So that group is ready. We're going to end here. They stayed for that day. So when we come back, it's going to be another night cycle. The next episode will open with, again, does anything happen in the night? They definitely stirred up some activity. Some citizens saw them. They, at least the group of militia might be able to determine a direction of travel if they're hunting, which I would imagine they are, whoever was bold enough to steal their vehicle. That could be something we'll be looking for when we return. Like it. All right, Chief, bonding with board games and RPGs. If you're enjoying the show as it unfolds, please like and subscribe. It helps other people find the show. Spread the word, whatever other social media you got if you're enjoying it. See ya. Bye.